It's been 8 months of owning this car, and I realized I have not done a review on it yet. And quick spoiler alert, I've already decided to get rid of this car, and you'll learn why here in a sec. So I bought this car last year for my wife. If you couldn't tell, it's got the pink accents. She customized it to her liking. I also wanted to get one more tax write-off before the end of the year, so it made sense. Now, if you watch my original video on it, I talk about how I was really disappointed in buying it because of this. It has almost no trunk space, so anytime we want to put something back here, pretty much makes the third row unusable. We have to put it down. And in that first video, I talked about how I was looking at potentially just trading it in altogether because of that issue. I decided to keep it, obviously, but now in hindsight, I realized that was just the first of many different issues this car would have. Now, before I go and completely bash this car, there are actually some really cool things about it. So to give a full, transparent, fair review, let's talk about the good things first. So first off, the way it drives is really nice. It's super smooth on the road. The car is big, you just feel elevated over everyone else. It surprisingly turns really well. You know, when I was first making U-turns with it, when we got it, I was expecting I'd have to take this huge wide turn and it might not potentially make it. That's not the case. This car drives really nimble. And so when I'm actually in here, I'm really happy because the experience is great. It's got a lot more power than you think when you hit it. And it's really different than the old Suburban that I used to drive. When I was 16, my very first car was a 2002 Suburban, and that thing had no power. I had to really just press the pedal in order to get it moving. But trying to turn with that thing was like moving a boat. And so when I drive this car, it's completely different. It almost feels like it might be a crossover with how well it handles and how much power it has. I also love how spacious the car is. I mean, here in the front seat, you've got all this room. You've even got the massage seats going. I like where your arm is sitting. It makes it a very comfortable ride, whether you're going somewhere here in Vegas or where we're going to California, where we've taken it many times. So it's been a great car for road trips, not only as the driver, but the passengers are also getting a ton of room as well. Having the captain's chairs for the kids is super nice. And it's funny because we've actually turned that back area into somewhat of a playpen for the kids whenever we're just parked. Sometimes we'll go up to the mountain where we're building our house and we'll just have a little picnic inside of the car. We'll look at the strip and the kids just have all this room where they walk around and play in. But it also works really well when we're just going to somewhere and the kids want to stay in the car. They can just run around and not get all mad. Now look, the driving experience is great, but I still love the look of the Navigator. Just how mean and rugged it is. The grille itself is really cool looking. I also love how at night this lights up as well as the lights. Then you have these running boards that just come out and light up. It's a really cool thing when you're getting in at night. But unfortunately, that's kind of where all the good parts end. Now, I don't want to be nitpicky or anything over here, but I've had 5 different issues happen along the way of just owning this car in 8 months. And I'm not even talking cosmetic issues or things that are just my personal preference. These are things that just didn't work properly on the car. So the first one was getting the car to actually start when we got it. It was kind of funny. The guy delivering the car was trying to get it off and he couldn't start it up. And so for us to get the car off the truck, had to get my car and jumper cables to restart it. Now I figured, look, this car's been traveling across country, it was the winter, maybe the battery just died or just needs to be pumped up again. And though we were able to get it to start, it wasn't really good enough. I had to end up getting a brand new battery that I had to pay for out of my own pocket. The dealer wouldn't pay for it.
Anyways, I can fix it for about $250.
Even though I just bought this car from them and they couldn't get it off the delivery truck to even give it to me. So that was the first annoying thing. And I said, you know what? Not a big deal. I'm not a nitpicky kind of guy. I'm gonna keep the car. It's not anything crazy. Well, as I started driving it, I noticed the second issue, which was this left mirror. So this left mirror, while you're driving, shakes a lot. It literally shakes just like this while you're driving. Now, when you go to the right mirror, you can see it's not shaking nearly as much when I tap it. And just to show you again, so you know I'm not crazy, look how much this shakes. So it doesn't need me tapping it to do that. It's just the wind and going at higher speeds when it happens. But once again, I said, you know what? Not a big deal. I'm not gonna freak out over this. Who cares? If it shakes, it shakes. And all of that leads to the third issue I uncovered during the same time that I started noticing this mirror. It was this wireless charger right here. As you can see, I'm gonna put my phone in right now, and you're gonna see it connect and say wireless charger is active. And you think that, yeah, this thing is working out really good. And as you can see, it did it again. Why did it do it again? That's not good. It should just be fine the whole time. And then you get this after a few seconds. Charging terminated. As you can see, it has not moved. It's in the same spot. So pretty much the wireless charger is unusable. It'll just keep turning on and off on its own all throughout the drive. And honestly, I've just given up on it and started putting the phone there because I got tired of seeing the screen always say, charging active, charging terminated, charging active, charging terminated. But even with this third issue, I said, you know what, it's not a big deal, it is what it is. You know, a lot of wireless chargers are kind of funky like that, so maybe that's just how it is. Well, it was around this time that I noticed the fourth issue that would continue happening. So the backup camera will randomly do this. You can't even use it. It's showing this 3D view, but I can't use it. Like, what do I even have it for? I've kind of noticed that if you try to reverse right when you start the car, this happens. But even if that's the case, your backup camera should never look like this. So even with me playing with it, I go into park, you know, everything's on, it's good to go. I hit reverse, still don't have a backup camera. If I wanted to have a backup camera, I would have to restart the car. You know, the car's back on. I'm gonna give it a little bit. Now let's see if I hit reverse. I still don't have a backup camera. Let's try it for the third time. Come on, Lincoln, you can do it. You can show them that you actually have a backup camera for real. I'm gonna turn off the car. I'm gonna open the door so that that turns off completely. We can add that into the good. That thing's actually kind of cool. Let's turn the car on one more time. Let's see what happens. It's still black. All right, so guys, like I said, I can't even get it to work properly right now, but sometimes it does work. I'll give Lincoln that. Like, sometimes I can actually use my backup camera, but most times I can't. But even with those 4 problems, I still said, you know what? I trust the car. Who cares? They're not a big deal. Well, it didn't become a big deal until after a couple of months of driving it like I am now. We were out on a Sunday afternoon, my wife and the kids. We were just touring some houses. We like to do that sometimes, just go out to different neighborhoods and look at real estate. Even after all these years of flipping so many houses and buying all these deals, I still just enjoy looking at real estate and seeing new homes. Then all of a sudden, I can't hit the accelerator. I'm trying to go fast and the car's just not doing it. And I'm trying to figure out why this is happening. I'm kind of freaking out because the car just dropped down to going 20 miles an hour and I'm on a road that's doing 45. And so I pull off to the side and try to turn the car on and off to see if that fixes the issue. Well, that didn't end up doing anything, and I called my friend Lucky Lopez, who's been on my channel many different times about car flipping. Whenever I need to know anything about cars, I reach out to him. And he said that the car was in what they call limp mode, where it protects itself so that nothing else breaks by you trying to go too fast. And so we drove in limp mode for about 20 minutes on all these side streets, trying to avoid all the traffic and get home safely. It was actually really scary, but thankfully it all ended up well, and I ended up having Lucky come over to my house to try and diagnose it. He ended up running a bunch of tests on his computer, and there were just so many things going on with the circuits and the electrical that he said that we had to take it to Ford. So I ended up dropping it off, and I said, okay, here's the main problem. We gotta fix whatever's causing this not to be able to accelerate, but also please take a look at the mirror, take a look at the wireless charger, take a look at the backup camera, and all of these other issues. So I take it back to Ford and they say, okay, your fuel pump is broke, but it's under warranty, so you don't have to pay for that. And I said, okay, what about the backup camera, the wireless charger, and this mirror?
We can do it for about, what, 250?
About 250.
250.
They said, we don't see the issue with the backup camera. It works whenever we do it, so I don't know what we can possibly do. They said if I wanted to fix the wireless charger, it was gonna be $400. It wasn't covered in warranty. And then they said the mirror was another $400 because it's not under warranty since we wrapped the car. Now let me show you what wrapping the car is. Take a look at this.
Look at this. Somebody come look at this.
Now this is not like my Tesla where we wrapped the whole entire car. All we did was really minor things like paint this pink. We chrome deleted it right here and right here. And then here, we just smoked this red part black. But for them, because we did that, it voided the warranty and it would be another $400 to fix this issue. Well, I said, you know what? The mirror's not a big deal to me. I can deal with it shaking. If you can't do anything about the backup camera, whatever. But I would like the wireless charger fixed, so I'll pay $400 for that. Well, after a week, I ended up getting the car back. They fixed the fuel pump. That was good. Put my phone in the wireless charger, and just like I've shown you now on this video, it still doesn't work. And I'm out $400. And I've tried to get my money back, but they want me to just bring the car back in, and I don't have time for that, so I'm just out $400.
You got $400 for me, huh?
So if any of you guys want to donate to me the $400, you can just actually bypass that and hit the subscribe button, because that'll be more valuable anyway.
Anyways, I can fix it for about $250.